everyone. Welcome to the Geek Chat on the Experience. We got a full show for you. We got some new number ones from indies, believe it or not. And we're going to tell you our thoughts on the new Thunderbolts movie, all when we return. Hey everyone, welcome. It is Thursday. That means it is time for the Geek Chat, and we have got a lot to chat about today. I'm Beardy Rich.
I'm Little Black Beardy Des.
And we have a giveaway, of course, as we do. This is the X-Men number something by AKA. It's a 1 in 25. It's a very cool cover, too.
AKA, I thought it was Aka.
Aka, AKA, you know.
Hi, Kenneth. Hi, BB Haunted. Hi, Pastor Michael. So this is our 1 in 25. Please type in hashtag the Geek Chat to win.
I thought it was just Geek Chat.
Kyle, please roll that banner. I don't know. I think it's the Geek Chat. Maybe just Geek Chat. You know, we'll see. We'll I think it's just Geek Chat. So, but anyway, put it in the chat. Hi, Paul. We want everyone to. Yes, it's just Geek Chat. Just Geek Chat. Hashtag Geek Chat. You're right.
I know it. Hey, Zax.
Hi, Zax. Do note that we are still sending stuff out. If you have not got it yet, we have not forgot about you. We are still sending stuff out. So,
hey, Kelly.
Yeah. Well, hi, Kelly. Kelly got his. I know that for a fact. So yes. So this is our 1 in 25 giveaway. It is X-Men. I think it's number 11.
I don't know. I haven't read it yet.
I don't know. I really liked Apocalypse Kills All. I do like this cover. I think it's really, really kind of nice. I like the way that the team looks. If you didn't see the original cover for this, I guess there's a new team coming out, a new X-Men team coming out, and that team is sponsored by like the
letter K.
What is that? Triple K?
Like the letter K or something?
That's like Triple K or something. So they're a villainous organization trying to usurp the X-Men. It's not a bad story so far. I mean, it's just their, you know, I think it's kind of interesting because these are people who are being chemically altered. Their genes are being chemically altered to make them mutants. So I thought that was kind of an interesting number 16. Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
I think that's one of those things that I really kind of think is kind of cool. Is like, you know, how are we going to change like the weird genome? You know, people were straight up getting high off of it with that. What is that? MBH or MGH or whatever they were called.
MGH, yeah.
But yeah, I've kind of enjoyed it. I think they're an interesting team. I really wish they would get Scott's look right because he goes from teen to old man in every picture. So I don't know. So anyway, that is our giveaway for this episode. Again, as you see it scrolling on the bottom, please put in hashtag Geek Chat to give it away. If I can't give it away, I have to give it to this.
Everyone's asking. So I got the Dodderman cover with all the different Scots on it. Did you see the Magic one that came out today?
Yeah.
It's for July, I think. Russell Dodderman is doing all the looks of Magic. That is, I can't wait for that.
And you're all like, oh my God, it's Magic.
It is. I don't know. This says they're the X-Men. I don't know.
Yeah.
I go in and out of.
On the other picture, it says on the bottom who they are. They're sponsored by. See, now I'm curious. Hold on. Let me fact check. Start talking about stuff, Rich.
All right, I will. So we're going to be reviewing the movie Thunderbolts, and we're going to be giving our spoilers, much spoilers away, much spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, maybe hit mute. Our producer, Kyle, has not seen it yet and will not be seeing it for a while. So if you are going to mute us, then you want to wait until I do this. This is we're moving on. That is our moving on. So, hey, Easy Reader Eddie, Space Case Collectibles.
They are sponsored by 3K. So yes,
3K.
we are 3K is the name of the group that is sponsoring the new X-Men. So it's not
Damn.
triple K, it's just 3K. Literally the number 3 with a K. So I don't know. That's interesting.
Maybe
I don't
we'll
know.
review it one of these days.
Okay, so now that Kyle is gone and he's not listening, kind of talk about Kyle. Oh my lord, producer.
So
Okay. So I'll let you go first, Rich. So just let me set the scene. Let me set the scene. We go to Metreon, in San Francisco, and we get there, and I know people don't show up early for previews, but it's kind of annoying when you get there and you're starting to like trip over people and stuff. That's kind of annoying. So whatever. So they go through, they show all of the KKK. No, Kelly. Or maybe it is. I don't know. We get there, we have our popcorn, we have all of our snackies, and we sit down. Of course, it's like 30 minutes before we start, and then it starts. And what I thought was really cool was the Marvel Studios logo will flip through people who were in the movie, like with Doctor Strange. It'll flip through old comics of Doctor Strange to give you that stuff. They did that here, but it was with various different Thunderbolts characters. Like Bucky was in it, and Ilyana was in it. I thought it was really cool. But then, towards the end, it all went black. I was like, "Ooh, we're in for a good stuff." So we were all like, we were all sitting there in a row, watching it, and I don't want to say that I got kind of like goosebumps, but I felt I don't know I felt pretty positive about going into this movie. So that's how I was. So, Rich, what about you, buddy?
why don't you just finish up on your thought?
No, I didn't.
So a couple things before we start. This movie, I was going into it thinking, okay, in the comic books, the Sentry had to be taken down different ways. How are they going to do it? And it's the movie starts off, and Yelena is she's kind of narrating it.
Yeah, she's
And
the focal point of the movie.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of. Oh, hey, Barlord. Okay. She was in a dark spot, and she jumps off the second largest building in the world, all because she's just looking for her next mission. She's doing her next mission. And from there, we are introduced to the cast, basically. And if you are following the trailers, you realize one of these people are only in the trailer for maybe 10 minutes. I mean, the movie, you can see the movie. The person is well, spoilers.
It's Thunderbolt. It's Thunderbolt. It's Taskmaster.
It's Taskmaster, and bam, right away she's done. And then the movie continues. And I was like, okay, this is.
You're kind of going a little bit robot, Rich. So your connection's kind of a little bit off. So you kind of froze.
Oh.
So I'm gonna continue. Okay, there you go. You're back now.
Hold on.
You're back now.
All right, it's plugged in directly in. So overall, I really liked this movie. Going back to the last Endgame, I feel the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been wavering in its offerings. Some people loved Thor. I didn't much care for it. Some people loved Doctor Strange. Didn't much care for it. Eternals absolutely could not stand. Shang-Chi was trash.
Ew! How dare you? I liked it.
No. I really was waiting for something to draw me in. And the fact that this movie is a success for Marvel, but it's still not hitting the numbers like they want. Yes, it's C-cast characters. You don't know who these people are. We have been introduced to them, sometimes on the smaller screen, some in Black Widow. I really thought this movie just embraced the Marvel formula that we were used to from the beginning. As much as it is a trauma-filled, depression-filled, darkness movie, it still landed and resonated. And that's what I think I liked the most about it. you hate some of these characters. Like, they make the captain, I'm calling him the captain because that's what he should have been called.
He's
John
U.S.
Walker,
agent.
or U.S. agent.
He
Yes.
is. He is the U.S. agent now. That
We'll
is
get
his
to
official
that. We'll
moniker.
get to that after, because the fact that, well, we'll get to it. Yeah, so you hate these characters, but you end up, they grow in the movie. And I love when characters grow in movies. Now, yes, that you could say that's hokey, but in the Marvel universe, when you're supposed to have a shared universe, characters have to grow. That's why the original Avengers are gone. They grew. Some died. They moved on. So for me, loved this movie. I really wish people would go see it. I think it's a sad state when this didn't do better than Captain America, which I thought was a trash movie. We reviewed that before. So this was not a trash movie at all. And I love that Yelena was the focal point of it. But we can't have women-led films, so this ensemble was really a good vehicle for her. Because I would love to see the White Widow in future Marvel movies, and I know we will.
Cool. So my take on it was, yes, the Taskmaster was a bait and switch. That was kind of funny that they did that. There were only, if you know this, there were really only 2 confirmed kills in the movie. Everyone else was not confirmed. So this was sort of somewhat of a bloodless movie, which I thought was very interesting. And by that I mean the doctor at the beginning got shot. The guy that Elena, well, like, no, that's not true. She did kill the guys in the middle at the beginning when she went in. She did kill those 2 guys, so she subdued all of them and killed them all. So,
well,
sorry.
Not to mention all the people that were under the rubble of the blast. She blew up a building.
I said confirmed kills. So,
well, do you think they survived?
Oh yes, they all survived.
Okay.
Come on, it's a comic book movie. If you don't see a body, then they're still alive. I mean, just ask G.
Much like Cobra, much like G.I. Joe and Cobra,
yeah.
No one could actually hit anyone.
U.S. obnoxious. That's funny. I liked it too. I thought this was definitely a return to form with Marvel. I do not want to say that they're back. I do think that Marvel went out and they tried something and it did not work. They realized this, and this is part of their course correction. Same thing with Captain America, now Thunderbolts, aka New Avengers. No. I think they tried to course correct, and I think that's why it was a lot more. It had a lot more drama in it, and it did not have that much. I've noticed that they've really pulled back on the comedy, and they're allowing the dramatic parts to resonate a little bit more before they cut to slapstick humor. I'm glad that they all kept a sense of humor with it, but I really liked that they all acted like assholes. I thought that was great. I do think that David Harbour's Red Guardian was just a little bit too over the top in some instances, especially at the end about being, going completely like capitalist and all this other stuff. Like, I get it. It is a parody of like, Russians coming to America and falling in love with capitalism. Right. I get that. I do think that Taskmaster was a mercy killing because people did not like that character. She did not resonate with anybody. And I guess there's like rumors that the reason why they wanted to do that because they wanted to Ryan Reynolds or someone down the road wanted to bring back the male version of Taskmaster because Taskmaster and Deadpool work together and they have a shared history, and her character did not resonate. I also heard that the actress did not want to be a part of it anymore, and so she did this basically to say goodbye to the character. So who knows? I do agree with you 100% that using Florence Pugh as the star really worked well. I really think that she really sold it for me. Her darkness and all that really worked. And I don't know where they found the guy that played the Sentry, but he was great.
That's Bill Pullman's son.
Yes, right? Yeah, I knew that he was Bill Pullman's son, but I'd never seen him in anything else. But he looked great. The action scene between all of them was great. He was holding back, but him using his powers and learning to do this stuff was great. Yeah. I thought his display I would have liked to have seen more of his display of power. I really hope that when he is shown in, Doomsday and all the other stuff that's coming up, that he really gets to show off his powers. I'm talking about a Doctor Strange versus Thanos level of power. And I hope that he dies. And not because I don't like the character or anything like that. I just think having Doctor Doom kill the Sentry in Doomsday would be just fantastic. Or depowering him or something would be a fantastic show of power. Hopefully he kills him, because I think that we're all old enough, to witness death, and I think it would be great. He was in Strangers Prey at Night. Okay, I'll have to go check that out. Thank you, BB Haunted. BBB Haunted. Triple B Haunted. Not Triple K, Triple B Haunted. But yeah, overall, I thought the movie was great. I liked the moment between Ilyana and Red Guardian. I like that interplay between the two of them and the absentee father, and and how it kind of intercut with Bob's inner demons, but his father. So there was a lot of similarities, and then you have U.S. agent being a terrible father. So you have these three different levels of like father figures that were doing different, that were in different that were doing different things that were within the same kind of wheelhouse. So again, I thought the script was very nuanced, and you could do that if you wanted. You could pull and tease out those threads if you wanted to go deeper into this movie, and still, if you didn't, you still had a really good popcorn flick as well. I like that. I like that the movie had depth that you could go into if you decided to look into it that way. I do think, though, that Bucky, the only one that did not seem to fit in all of it was Bucky, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I love Sebastian Stan. I think he's a great character. But his feeling or his being there was very much like a babysitter. And I really hope that we get more interplay between him and the team, because one thing that was interesting was you don't know who the leader is. You seem like it's Bucky or Ilyana. You're not really sure. I think that's fine. But because Marvel has basically compressed their time to get these big ass movies out, we're never going to see that, unfortunately.
No. So I want to say, Eddie, yes. So funny story about Bob from Top Gun. That is him. He did not want to be called Bob in this movie. He asked the director, can we change the name? Like Rob. And he didn't want to play another Bob because he just came off of Top Gun 2. And they're like, no, sorry, it's Bob. That's the running, that you got to be Bob again. So it is him from Top Gun 2. And yes, Kelly, I am hoping we get a little bit of bonus footage. I doubt we will, but oh my God, the bad lip reading version of this show in my head is wild. So another thing, we started watching on YouTube last night clips of them, the cast, on different late night shows, different talk shows.
They're hilarious.
Oh, but on Kelly Clarkson, they gave too much away. So I'm glad going into this, I knew absolutely zero except for what was in that trailer. They talked about the depression, the trauma. They talked about the team building. They talked about how if you're alone, you sit in your head, and those thoughts just keep going through, and how it takes, depending on other people. And I'm like, I'm so glad I watched nothing, because I think they wanted to get butts in seats. I get it. And Kyle's not listening, but there's another poster of this. And on Monday, Marvel decided to rename this, spoiler, New Avengers.
Yeah.
So now this movie is New Avengers.
Yeah, it's no longer Thunderbolts.
I sent Des a text. I was like, I sent the thing through Twitter. And I was like, oh my God, it's only been a couple days. And his response was exactly why Marvel did it. Butts in seats.
Yep.
The movie performed well for them, but not as well. So let's spoil it, because remember when the Thunderbolts came out, they all made a huge deal about that asterisk. And they were like, you're going to find out what the asterisk is for. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, bam, Monday they give it away. And I was
Yeah.
like, that kind of sucks. But what really sucks is what the printing side of Marvel did. So we send out pull lists to all our subscribers, to the people that reserve comics through us. And they renamed the upcoming Thunderbolts comic book New Avengers. Why is this a problem? Because they did it with 7 days between us finding this out and having to order it. It is on the next FOC for Marvel. And I'm getting 3 days. Cook says 3 days they gave notice. How? So we had to send our subscribers out an email today saying, hey, by the way, this book has changed. Get your orders in by Sunday. So I understand Marvel's thrill in doing this, but you're basically once again screwing the retailers out of numbers for you, Marvel. This is on you. So that's
annoying.
it.
Okay, so flash it to Kyle. That way he knows he can stop coming. You can come back in. All right, so we're back. Now we're going to talk about Spider-Man and how Godzilla ate all the Thunderbolts at the end of the movie. It was pretty crazy that Godzilla came in and just ate the century. And
Kelly,
and
no, it's
Bob's
not.
gone.
By the way,
of course not. Well, that'd be awesome if it did, but
it has some,
but not all of them.
Lady Wolverine is in it. I'm like, why? That's dumb.
Yeah, and I think Ghost is still a man in the shows.
Nope, so. We're done, Pastor Michael. We are done talking about it. Just know that we loved it.
Yeah, and we really hope that you all enjoy it as well. So now we're going to talk about Godzilla versus Spider-Man. I have been loving it. They're so silly, and I have been loving it. Just absolutely adorable. I think Kyle might have went to pee. So there it is.
Hey, Kyle.
He's back. Yes.
All right, so let's get this out of the way. Joe Kelly, I love his writing. Been reading him for decades. Did the writing. Nick Bradshaw, amazing artist. Rochelle Rosenberg did the coloring. VC's Joe Caramagna did the lettering. And that cover there is by Nick Bradshaw and Rochelle Rosenberg. I got a variant. Don't know who it's by. Don't know. Just I got a different variant. And okay, so this follows the Hulk. Godzilla versus the Hulk.
It's in the same universe.
That's
I was
crazy.
Very surprised. I did not think they were all in the same universe, but I guess they are.
Yeah.
Or maybe these two are, because I think Joe Kelly did the one Godzilla versus the Hulk. I think he might have wrote that one. I'm not sure. But yeah, it was these Godzilla comics are so Caramagna. These are so silly. Like, these books are just silly. They're just dumb, especially this one. And the reason why I say that it was dumb is because this takes place in the 90s, y'all. This is the 90s. This is Joe Kelly's rendition of the 90s. This is back when John McCline was writing and Todd McFarlane was drawing it. And it was back in that days, because it happens right after you got that right.
I thought it happened right after Secret Wars.
Yeah, but if you look at what's going on in the comic, it actually takes place. This is before Eddie Brock got the symbiote,
right?
But after Secret Wars. So
that was 90s.
Yeah. So it's 80s.
It was earlier.
Right.
Yeah, it was 80s.
But this one is specifically the 90s. He compressed the time a little bit, but you can tell because this is the time when he was dating Felicia Harding as well, and Mary Jane. He was dating Mary Jane. So there was a specific time period right around that time. So he compressed it from like the 80s into the 90s, but this definitely takes place in the 90s because of how they're talking. Like, they're saying things like radical and that's fresh and
right.
And I was thinking, okay, well, he's definitely trying to set a scene about where we are in this. So there's a little bit of rewriting of history because, of course, this takes place on an alternate Earth. So yeah, it takes place right after Godzilla versus the Hulk. Godzilla shows up in New York. Spider-Man is. They give you a lot of backstory, which I thought was unnecessary. To the story, like I don't need to know what's really going on with all
There
this
were a lot of editors boxes in this.
because again he was talking about an era that is just gone. Like no one really remembers this stuff unless you've been reading since like the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. You don't really remember this stuff.
Well, I've been reading and I don't remember.
Really? Oh no, this is back right when.
Oh no, I remember all the references in this. I remember.
Yeah. Then that's one of the reasons why I really liked it. I thought the artwork was great. I
Well,
thought the way
Nick Bradshaw.
Yeah,
come on now.
Yeah. I thought
Arthur Adams Light.
Exactly. Wow. Exactly. I just thought it was fantastic. The story, of course, super cheese. Spider-Man in his costume fights Godzilla, and Godzilla roars, and the decibel is so loud that it causes the symbiote to flee. And then the symbiote, seeking a new host, does what, Rich? Does what?
It just latches right on to Godzilla.
So we got Godzilla as a Venom symbiote, and it's just the silliest thing. So you have a giant Godzilla with a symbiote attacking and running around, and Spider-Man just happened to be fighting the Shocker beforehand and super quickly modified one of his gauntlets and was able to separate the two. It was hilarious.
I loved the editor's box about that, though. To see this, go see Lost. What do they call it? Lost?
I don't know. It was just so silly. Like, it was fun, though, and that's what I liked about it. It did not take itself very seriously at all. And this is back to the time when Felicia Hardy was super trying to get with him, and Mary Jane was like not having it at all. So there's a lot of.
It's called Plot Holes.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that happens in this comic that is just so bananas. So this would be my recommendation of if you have disposable income and you're looking for something silly to read that would be entertaining, that looks good in your hands, and then you're reading it, I would say this one is. But again, I'm loving the Godzilla versus Spider-Man. Oh, also another reason why you might want to pick it up as a number one, we get a new Venom. So in this reality, Eddie Brock at the end gets the Venom, but the Venom suit still has traces of Godzilla in him, and so we get God Venom, and it's, if you've ever seen Godzilla, you'll know that not Biollante, the space Godzilla has crystals on its back and whatnot. That's what it looks like. So it's Venom with sort of a Godzilla sort of thing with the scales on his back, and it's just Vinzilla. It's so silly. It should have been. I was thinking about that when I read it. I was thinking it should have been called Vinzilla, but no, it is God Venom. And maybe they had made references to Null, so maybe this will challenge Null. I'm serious, y'all. This might show up somewhere else. I'm just saying, if you're a speculator, you might want to go pick it up.
So I gotta say, Pastor Michael, I remember that Spider-Man versus Megatron. That was awesome. Kelly, I can't believe you ever had hair. Steve, I think a great miniseries. So the miniseries Marvel has coming up is it's the heroes versus Godzilla. I would love it if something took out the heroes and the monsters of the Marvel universe had to take on Godzilla. So yeah, Fing Fang Foom. I don't know. That just sounds like fun to me. Yeah, I loved this.
Yeah.
I loved this because it was fun. It put the fun in funny books. It was lighthearted. So it mentioned all of the 90s and 80s stuff. Yeah, I actually thought I liked Hulk. So I think for me, it would still go Hulk, then Spider-Man, then that Fantastic Four. I really didn't care for the Fantastic Four one. But so far, Hulk, go find Hulk. It's out of second printing already. And if you can find this one, find it, because Marvel will reprint it for a second printing. You don't have to worry about that.
That's hilarious.
So.
Godzilla versus Shogun Warriors. I haven't thought about Shogun Warriors in forever. But yes, I'm telling you, God Venom, or sorry, God Venom will be around, returning. And you know, whoever knows, Tom Hardy might be looking for a new vehicle. Having said that, it is time for us to take our mandatory break. That way, you know, we can get some ad revenue in. Yeah. So I'm gonna kick it over to
Kyle.
producer Kyle to take it away. We'll be back shortly.
Symphonic verses, Nocturne's romance. A song of romanticized darkness, dreaming death by sleep.
FOC, a comic industry term for the final day a new comic can be ordered by a local comic shop. So, what does that mean to you? Well, it's your last chance to order a new comic book from your local comic shop. Order up! The FOC show will go over every book that's about to be cut off every Friday afternoon.
I'm going to highlight some of the stuff that I think is really worth paying attention to,
so that you can put in an order at your LCS for as many copies or as many variant covers as you want.
Sometimes the store needs to know to up their orders.
Never miss out on a popular comic again. Order up, part of the experience. Live from New York. What? Oh, sorry. Live from Cleveland? It's Friday night? It's Friday Night Live! With Nancy McCann. And Ricky. And sometimes Carlos. And featuring boxes and boxes of rare comics. Unique collectibles. Lots of smiles and conversations with new friends. Friday Night Live with Comics Unlimited. Friday night from 9 to 11 on The Experience.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Geek Chat on The Experience. I'm Beardy Rich.
I'm Little Black Beardy Des, and it looks like y'all are like making all kinds of really good sounding Mexican dishes and orders. Like I haven't eaten dinner yet. Like I come straight from work here, sit down and talk to all you beautiful people. And today was crazy. I did an 8-hour training in which I was the trainer. So it was a very long day of talking. I'm not done. So I love it. I love it, as you can see. So, Rich, are we giving away something?
We are giving away something. It is a 1 in 25 X-Men number
19.
I don't know.
16? 19? Let me scroll up real quick. Ooh.
It is by AKA Aka. Great cover. And if none of you get it, I get it, and I like this one. So
16. Thank you, Paul. Again, Paul. It is number 16. And I don't know. Like I saw this and I thought number one, the X-Men is way too small, but I get they're trying to showcase the art, but not actually putting the number on it. I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting that they chose to do this. It's almost like a pseudo variant. Virgin variant. Yeah. But, you know, I guess that's if they hadn't put it on, then I guess it would have been a Virgin variant. But still, very interesting that they chose to do this. Yeah. And I really do like the cover. And if you have not read the comic, it's very interesting. Someone finally gets up and walks around. So I'm like, wow, okay.
Oh, I can't wait to read it.
Yeah. It was
so this past Saturday was Free
God.
Comic Book Day, and at the store we had our Free Comic Book Day celebration, and Desmond so nicely dressed up as Wonder Woman, and this was in my memories the other day. That's how I got it, and I asked for permission. I said, "Do you mind if we show it?" And he's like, "No."
Of course not.
So yes,
this is an old picture of me back when Rich and Kook had their comic book shop on the cash. I used to come over there and help out on Free Comic Day. It was great. Like we'd spend the whole day just talking to people and talking about comics and reading comics. If you don't have a comic book person near you, please go try to find one, because they can be some of the nicest people. Like your local comic book shops, they can be the nicest people, and they really do need your support. All you have to do is just talk to them. And I know some of them can be old and curmudgeon-y, but that's just the nature of the beast.
If you don't know where there's a local comic shop nearby to you, visit comicshoplocator.com and type in the numbers of the place where you are. It will tell you where there's a comic shop nearby to you. If comicshoplocator.com goes away, try findmycomics.store. Findmycomic.store, which is a new site brought to you by our friends at Sweet.
Awesome. Thank you for that, producer
Yes,
Kyle.
Thank you, Kyle. And hopefully you can make some friends online. Like this beautiful community we have here. You can talk about comics, because it is a lot of fun talking about comics. And I used to spend way too much time there when I should have been at work. And dressing like
That's
that.
True.
I can't believe you brought that picture up. I hadn't even thought about that picture in forever. Oh my Lord. Such
like
a silly
I said,
picture.
Memories. You got to have them. Sometimes they come back and look.
Yeah.
So hopefully next week we'll review some of the Free Comic Book Day ones we liked.
Yeah. I was able to get a couple from my local comic book shop. And I'm interested in seeing the other ones. God. The next book up is Vanishing Point #1. This is the beginning of the 3 indies that we're going to talk about tonight. We had to do the Godzilla because that came out actually last week, but because we weren't here last week, we said that we were going to be doing the Godzilla books, and so that's why we included it.
And it was fun.
And it was fun. Yeah. So this is the new book we're talking about, Vanishing Point #1. I had no idea about this book. Rich was the one that texted me when we were talking about what books we're going to talk about this week, and he said, hey, let's
There were 3 indie books, and I was like, we cover indie books, but not as a feature. So we figured we'd do 3 of these and let you know if we think you should buy them or not.
Yes.
Are those Converse?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So #1, that outfit. If you want to, Kyle, I know you're probably busy, but if you can go back to that outfit, I'll break down the costume real quick if you want to see what I was actually wearing. So, okay. So that the Converse are actually Stars and Stripes Converse. I found those on the Hate for like $20. Those are thigh-high socks that go all the way up to your mid-thigh. I do have on underwear, so I'm not regimental. That skirt was made for me by a burlesque costume designer, because I was never in like boylesque. I never did that, but I did perform with burlesque troops, and so I knew a lot of folks that did that. So she made me that skirt and belt are one piece, and then she found me that that kind of like blousey thing, and then she handmade the shield, she handmade the gauntlets, and she handmade the tiara, and that's one of my wigs. I have a bunch of wigs, and that was my outfit for the day. So, is the hair real? It's real fake. It might be real horsehair, but it's not my hair. So yes, they are Converse. I still have the outfit in my closet. I don't really perform that much anymore. But yeah, that was a great time, and I wore that actually to a couple comic book conventions. I wore it to was I wear to WonderCon? San Jose Con, I wore to San Jose Con, and I interviewed James Robinson, who we're going to be talking, whose new book we're going to be reviewing. So I did interview him. So yeah, that
All
would
right.
definitely doubles the beard. So anyway, let's go. Let's keep
Back to Vanishing Point.
going. Sorry, I'm reminiscing. Sorry, Vanishing Point. Go
Good.
ahead.
All right. The writer is Mark Russell. Artist is Juan Doe. Carlos M. Mangual was the letterer. And that cover was done by Christian Ward. I got that cover too.
What'd you think?
Well, this is an anthology. There's more issues coming with different ideas. And the idea behind this was a guy goes out into space to mine, and it is for 10 years.
10
something
years.
like that. 10 years. And the family will get the money once he finishes his quota and he comes back. And it's just him in the ship. And he's mining. Things are going well. And then he starts to hear screams. And he does not know where the screams are coming from at all. And he figures out that the mining, that they have gained sentience. So he is killing
the asteroids, I guess.
He's killing to make money. And there are a bunch of captains that have gone before him, and they call them Ahabs. And I don't want to spoil the ending, but you can tell by the cover what happens.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. It really struck me as okay. So with these anthology books, and there's been a bunch of anthology books coming out, and I think that's great. The reason why I like anthology books is because it allows artists and writers to continue and do different things, and it gives a place for new writers and artists to kind of get a foot in. So I really like anthologies like this, and you should really check. I feel you should really check them out. I wasn't sure what I was getting into. I thought it would be much more of the crazier, weirder kind of sci-fi fantasy stuff, sci-fi science stuff, but it was not. This really struck me as it almost had a feeling of a Ray Bradbury type of story. One of those classic Ray Bradbury anthologies like The Illustrated Man. It kind of made me feel like that, where you have this unknown, you have this sort of eerie feeling, and when you find out what it is, it's how just how an individual reacts to their reality changing. But it's not like the very overt reality changing like you see in some of the Cthulhu myths or the Lovecraft type stuff. Like, this is not cosmic horror at all. Not to say that there won't be in the future, but I liked this. This was subdued. It was sci-fi with that little bit of a almost
horror.
70s. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of horror, but it's not like gore horror. Like,
no.
there is horror, but it really took me to a place of like old Outer Limits or old Twilight Zone or those type of stories, and I really liked that. I really enjoyed that we were still able to get something that was interesting and not just like graphically in your face, because it seems like we get a lot of that nowadays. And so to have something kind of like flashback to those sort of like classic 60s sci-fi, I thought it was really kind of fun. At least that's what I got from it when I was reading it, and I was like, it just kind of ended like that. And you're like,
Yes, the ending just ended. Like
that's what happens in those old
just
books.
Ended.
Yeah.
I kind of was like, it said end, and I flipped to the next page, and I was like, okay,
yeah,
that's it. And then I had to go online to see, and that's when it was I learned it was an anthology, because I was like, is this a one shot?
Mm-hmm.
But no. So I thought for Mark Russell, who this was subdued for him I like Mark Russell's writing, but it was a very done in one story, and it's odd in this day and age that you get a well done in one. So maybe check this out if you are a fan of science fiction. I think you might like this.
Yeah, and
I can't wait for the second one.
It's not, and that's the thing. It's not gory. It's sci-fi. It's like that classic sci-fi, And I like that. I don't think we get enough of that.
Right. So next up
Good book.
I am whiter than white, so I can't say this like it's supposed to be.
Los Monstros.
Stro-
Yes.
something.
Los
Yes, I
Monstros.
tried. Before the chat, I was trying to roll my R's to get this
Los
word out.
Monstros.
I Googled it and I said, how do I say this word? And I was like, yeah, screw that. I'm not saying that. You're saying it. So this is the book.
It's the
Script
monsters.
is by
Or the monsters.
James the Monsters. James Robinson, the script. Art by Jesus Marino. Colors by K.J. Diaz. Letters by Jim Campbell. And the cover A is by Jesus Marino. I got the I think I got the Dan. No, I got the. I don't know what cover I got. Oh well, it's not that one.
Yeah, this is the main cover. So real quick, Steve says they wanted to call themselves Man Cave, but they got lazy and just left in the typo. Fantastic. Yes, easy reader, try it. If your store was out of it, that's actually a pretty good sign. That's interesting. I'll start for this one. Unless you want to start with it.
So I really liked this one. Out of the three we read, this was the one that I want to read. Like, I want the next issue. I liked it because the art reminded me of an old DC.
Mm-hmm.
Full pages, great detail line work.
Art was fantastic.
The art was fantastic. The concept is an ex-police officer who is also a werewolf takes these cases that more supernatural, I'll say. They live in Los
Monstros.
Yes, they live there, and it is a city of just all different monsters.
Mm-hmm.
And you learn in the very first couple of pages that he's a werewolf, that he is on a case, and he's going to charge the people for the suit that is ruined when he transforms. You learn the history of the city, and you get a brand new case, and you learn a little bit about why he's no longer a cop and why a lot of cops don't like him. So for me, I think this number one did everything, as I say on every show. There's certain things that number one is supposed to do to make you want to read the next issue. And for me, there's enough of a mystery as to what he did. There's a mystery as to what this new case is about. And I am very fascinated by this blood. What did he call them? The Night Shift, which is a bunch of vampires who go out and solve cases for the police at night, and they get a little brutal.
Yeah.
And this was total James Robinson. This was him, and I think he's firing on all of it, all cylinders.
Yes, I would definitely have to agree with you. Okay, number one, the story and the writer. Credible writer, has interesting ideas. The artist, fantastic. Really, really a solid comic book. If you go into and read it, you will not be disappointed. There's a level of consistency that you get with James Robinson and this artist. I can't remember the name, unfortunately. That really resonates. It feels like a classic book that would come from, honestly, come from Vertigo. One thing that I will say, which kind of, and I guess that's just like what you're gonna do. They're comparable. Is this reminding me a little bit of Bigsby Wolf from Fables, because it is a hard-boiled detective story disguised as a universal monster movie. That's what this is. This is if you took one of those old Wolfman movies that Universal did and made it nowadays and turned it into a detective story. That's what you're getting. It's noir. It's a universal noir monster series. It's almost as if this could have been a pilot for something that you would have sent to Universal and said, "Hey, can we make a TV show out of it?"
Yeah, I could see that. That's yeah.
That's
I want to
what I'm
say
feeling.
BBB. Yes, I just googled it. He did the Vampirella Bloodlust comic, and the cover's really cool too.
Thank you, Ken.
But yes,
but if you have any disposable income, this is another one that you want to buy comics to check out. This is a good one. Will you stick with it? I don't know. It really depends on if you like noir-esque stories and if you like monster movies. That's pretty much it. But by that, if you've ever read any like detective novels or seen any noir films, you kind of know the vibe that he's going for with this. It's just instead of Los Angeles, you have Los Monstros. So that's the difference. If you're going to like tie it to something, in the real world, that's what it would be comparable to. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very strong start for this book. I'm a sucker for those types of movies, and I'm interested to see where it goes.
yeah.
Steve says James also wrote the unproduced script for Friday the 13th movie a long time ago. You could probably find it online. Ooh,
That's pretty cool.
Okay,
I know.
All right, and our last book, we gotta speed through this, Rich. I will be the first one to say that unfortunately, given my schedule, I was unable to read this. So I would like you to give your review on this. Unfortunately, I'll probably, depending on if you like it, I'll have to go pick it up.
Well, all right. So let's get this out of the way. Aubrey Sitterston was the writer. Jed Dougherty was the artist. Colorist is Vittorio Estone. The letter is Taylor Esposito.
Yeah.
And
okay.
that cover
I flipped through it, but I didn't read it. Just so you know, I couldn't sit down and read it.
Yeah. I got cover something. I didn't get the main cover. Okay. Yes, I like Aubrey Sitterston's work. Usually, this to me, I was hoping you'd be able to tell me what happened. So
sorry. I mean, I can read it.
No. I just gotta say. So I love team books, and it's a really cool team, and the art is really good. The story is all over the place for me. It isn't linear, and I'm usually really good with non-linear books. Like, I get it. Did I say that name wrong too?
Estone Esposito.
Esposito.
Estonia Esposito.
So it is about a bunch of rebels. Oh my god, my ear just fell out. It is about a bunch of rebels who are trying to free their planet. And it happens. And some of them betray, some of them go on. Kyle read this book. It's a slow burn. Have you read the issues? That's my question.
I've read the first 4.
Oh wow! Look at Kyle coming in hot with the exclusives. All right.
So maybe I should continue it. Does it make sense by issue 4?
It makes sense issue 2.
Perfect. All right.
We had Ob on the channel to talk about this book way back at FOC, and he sent through PDFs. By the way, this is not a book you should read by PDF. It does not work.
Oh, cool. Good
This book is designed to be read as a physical copy.
Well, the art is amazing, I gotta say.
Yes, when I flipped through it,
the designs for the characters. So now that I know, I will continue to read it, and we will let you all know if 2 really does make sense to me. So we'll see.
Well, it's okay. So here is our commitment to all of y'all out there listening. Thank you for listening. We will read one. I'll read 1 and 2. He'll read 1 and 2, and then we'll come back and we'll say, "Hey, is this something that is fantastic? It's good. Let's keep going." And we're doing this on the recommendation of Kyle, producer Kyle, so the voice in the sky. So if it's bad, it's his fault. Just kidding. Just kidding.
So
it's time for a giveaway.
Yeah, get your last, hashtag Geek Chat. Thank you everyone for joining us. We know you got other things you could be doing, but it's amazing that you are here with us, listening to us go on about comic books and movies.
Yeah. Because we're
Thank
strange,
you.
So.
Oh, wow. He ordered 15 copies just to give away to friends.
Wow. Okay.
That is some high praise.
Was it a smear? Were we getting? I was getting kind of like indie Legion of Superheroes vibes from it, but maybe not. I don't know.
I can see you with the art.
Yeah, but again, I need to sit down and read it, which I will. Okay, everybody, let's give away a comic book to one of you fantastic people. I'll stop. Easy Reader. All right, Easy.
Congrats, Easy Reader. You're getting the X-Men cover.
Number 19, 24, 69?
87. Huh. Okay. Who am I kidding? They're never going to get to 87 in the Marvel universe.
They'll relaunch it or legacy title it. So thank you so much, everybody. Kyle will be producing, or we'll dropping in. There it is into the chat. Please thank you, Paul. Please make sure please fill that out. That way we can give it out to you. We are going to give it out. And I just want to say, on a personal note, happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. Thank you so much for help raising all these fantastic, literate comic book readers. So we love you all. So I'm Little Black Bearded Desmond.
I'm Beardy Rich.
And we'll see you next Thursday.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.